Okay.
Can you please wrap that
Another
up?
thing is, yes, I'm wrapping it up. Another thing is that, and my point is that you people cannot stop what's happening. Okay, I'll give you an example. Through your literature, through your false narratives, through your lies, you've created a situation where you're trying to take the mana and the kaha from the people that you have occupied their lands through that occupation. But I'll tell you what, you know, there is a renaissance, and it's been growing throughout the decades. And this example comes from Bikini Atoll. The military bombed that place, and today there's still radioactivity. Satawal is 1,200 miles from Bikini Atoll. And all those islands, all the women gave birth to what they call jellyfish babies. No heads, no limbs. All because of the military. But you know what? There was a miracle happening also. A man by the name of Mao, great Polynesian navigator. All right, they nearly killed our great heritage for navigation. Iulai's Pākehā House. Okay, that has stopped. He has put a stop to all the lies of your false narratives that Polynesians came or don't have anything, they just existed there on these islands. No, Polynesian navigation is alive and well today, and it connects us through Te Moana Nui a Kiwa. So, all of your lies, your denigration, destruction, you know, you need to stop it, because you cannot stop what's happening. You cannot. And that is, the people want their lands back. They want their culture they've already got, but their lands, they need their lands too. And they don't want their lands going to the state of Hawaii, which is just another hydra head like you guys.
Thank you.
Of the government.
I need you to wrap it up, please. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Mahalo.
much. Number 271.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha.
My name is Jordan Kapona Nakamura, and my family has lived here in the illegally occupied Kingdom of Hawaii for 4 generations, beginning shortly after King Kalakaua saw Japanese labor towards the end of the 1880s. And my responsibility as a guest on this sacred aina is to fight alongside my extended indigenous ohana and the rest of the Lahui for Hawaiian sovereignty, the health and sovereignty of the land, and to listen to the needs of the people and the land which sustains all of us. As Kumuhanani K. Trask says, the US military has become the #1 colonizing, polluting entity on this planet. You are manipulating and depriving the people of these lands. You have an appetite that cannot be satisfied. You have a hunger for domination without end, and it has been made clear that even the whole of the earth cannot satisfy the mindless, unchecked desires of a desperate empire that has only learned to take without asking. You have demonstrated a disdain for accountability. When the Department of Health was requiring urgent testing and remediation for flagrant issues at Kapukaki, aka Red Hill, the military's response was to sue the department. You have not only poisoned the waters that Kama'aina need and respect, and which is the lifeblood of all life on this planet, but you are willing to poison and lie to your own families. To speak directly about Pu'uloa, you insist that your genocidal, ecocidal war machine installed on these lands is meant to protect us. In reality, the only reason this place ever got roped into the United States wars was due to the illegal occupation turning this island into an unwilling target of war. Members of my own family and my grandmother's generation who just immigrated to the islands were killed from US artillery at the onset of these attacks brought on by the US commandeering the Pacific into its endless conflicts. You have turned Pu'uloa, once a breadbasket under indigenous stewardship, into a polluted graveyard. You have no right to impose your death wish and your imperial death cult upon the people of Oahu, Hawaii, Pacifica, or the rest of the planet. You have no rationale to retain the lands to continue your legacy of desecration. Your excuse for re-stealing Mākua was that the air above the valley is good for flying aircrafts. You trying to own the air itself? Go find some other air to try to own. The only option is to let the Lahui malama this aina. Since you have demonstrated an inability to do so from Kaho'olave to Kapukaki to Mākua, where you are testing white phosphorus damaging our lands and people in order to drop on other people's lands and people, which you are also illegally using, killing, and stealing in Palestine and numerous other places where a base has been installed without permission. We are not deluded. There is no treaty. Your laws mean nothing here. Your word means nothing here. None of your lies and false promises eclipse our desire to thrive and take care of each other and this irreplaceable aina. Time is up. Go home. A'ole Rimpak. Return Mākua and all crown lands. Free Palestine, free Kanaki, free Hawaii. Land back to indigenous peoples worldwide for the sake of all our lives. Kukia'i Hawaii.
Mahalo. 272. 272. Should be followed by 273.
Mahalo. For the record, my name is Taylor Ka'omoana, and this goes directly to your higher up, so please take the notes for input, and also to the legislatures for Hawaii, all the way to Josh Green. I am in strong opposition to EIS in all forms, proposing mitigation to protect the environment and to amend the EIS draft to update the land study bureaus and to partner with them, LSB, to be done on all acres the Army and each military branch utilize in Hawaii. Insert testing per 1 to 2 miles on every acre, highly proposed, where each is specifically for public record. Natural resources, where the water is, and connecting lands and where native species reside. The environmental impact statements should strike out any environmentally referred sources that is over 5 years old or older. Add to the next draft current environmental studies and report specific damages that will take 15 plus years to heal, rehabilitate lands, or to at least Class D lands. Amend EIS draft to insert every location, acre, and land that is a total loss, which includes lead poisoning, radiation, nuclear, trash, etc. Amend, insert, require a newsletter from the DOE and all military branches that they will be funding, that we will have specific departments when the EIS fund the next drafts, resolutions, and hearings, and final hearings. May that all be sent to each resident of Honolulu County and each county on every island. And the rest of my time goes to her, sorry.
You can have your own hair, Lenny.
Thank you. Aloha. Helani Sonora Pale. I'm testifying tonight as a community member and not on behalf of an organization. This is the third night I've been in attendance. So far, over the 3 nights, we had over 200 testimonies. Our people have spoken. They've said no to the leases. They said yes to the Army cleanup. They said yes for the Army to leave. They also asked over these past nights to extend the comment period. So I just want to make sure I get these comments in. So I think our people have been very clear these past 3 nights that we don't want any lease renewals. We want the Army out and they got to clean up their mess. Extend the comment period. Number 2, what I've also heard these last 3 nights, to please include the historical injustices that the military took part in that led to the theft of 2 million acres and the overthrow of our nation. Number 3, you were asked to draft the DEIS, the draft EIS, into a human-friendly format. No one can read 2,000 plus pages. Also, what was said these past nights, you were asked to disclose all abuses that was done to our sacred aina, water, cultural sites, native plants, animals, and fish. That needs to be disclosed in full. In your draft EIS, there are contradictions. You state in your draft EIS that you need Poamoho for training, but then you also state in your draft EIS that you're not currently using it for training. For Kahuku, you list 9 endangered plants, 8 protected birds, 1 of which is endangered, 2 endangered damselflies, 2 protected invertebrates, but you only document 1 sighting. So what happened to all of these animals and plants and organisms? Our relatives, what happened to them? Almost done. And then much of the land in question in Mākua is conservation. So it is illegal for the military to use conservation land for military training. But in your EIS, you say you need these lands for military training. So there's all these contradictions, and having worked with the military and gone back and forth as a member of the CRI, I'm not speaking on behalf of the CRI, I understand how the military works. 2,000 pages could have been condensed down to 10 pages. And all of us here could have been better informed about what's in there, which is not easily digestible, and it's also confusing because a lot of it is about overwhelming our lahui. Okay, and then also, lastly, I want to mahalo Ho'opai Peace Project, Pono Peace Project for the mea'ai, for the sign waving. I want to mahalo Lahui Foundation for providing drinks to our lahui all these nights. I want to mahalo Kalahui Hawaii Mutual Aid Kalahui for providing food and drinks and making sure our lahui was taken care of. Because when it comes down to it, we are going to take care of us. Did they bring food for us? Aole. Trisha did today, but thank you. And also I want to thank Oren over there, the cameraman. He's been filming for free all these events and putting it on live stream so that our lahui can watch and be a part of this. So mahalo to all these groups for coming and showing up, and mahalo to our lahui. Hopefully you've heard us, and those are my comments for the draft EIS, and I'll put it in writing. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Thanks. Healani, did you have a number or no? Healani. Did you have a number or no number?
Time, sorry.
Okay,
I had
okay.
to give up my time and leave
Okay.
earlier.
I just want to make sure I figure out where we are. 273. So we're on 273. Anyone? 273? Okay. 274? No more? 274? No more? 275? Sorry, you said, oh, you're 274? 275, okay.
Aloha mai kākou.
Aloha.
My name is Andre Lai Kauikeauli Perez. I'm born and raised on Oahu. I live in Waiawa, Makai, like my father Andre Sr. and my stepmother Camille. I'm a father, community organizer, and activist. a protector of the land and sea like many of the people you see here today. I am here this evening in strong opposition of the proposal for military lease renewals for Kahuku training area, Leilehua, Poamoho training area, and Mākua Valley. How can you, the U.S. military, propose another 65-year lease when you have left a trail of destruction and desecration across our island chain? How can we trust the American military, an entity that was one of the most prolific occupiers and polluters of indigenous land globally? Like many of us here, I have children, and a few of my main concerns are, what are you going to leave for them? In what condition will our land be returned to us? What lasting impacts will your use of these Hawaiian lands have on the cultural spaces and practices of the generations to come? We don't trust the American military, and the reasons why are in the evidence that exists all around us in places like Mākua Valley, Pohakuloa, Kaho'olave, Pu'uloa. These are prime examples of the level of care that is given to our land, sacred land, which have been so heavily impacted by military operations. What are we as Kanaka, people of this land, to think? These impacted sites that have yet to be cleaned up or restored to the original state as promised are scars, reminders, if you will, of why we do not and cannot trust the American military with the responsible use of our land. The U.S. Army has yet to be in compliance with its previous lease conditions from its inception. Why would we believe that they would be in compliance moving forward? The military's destruction of our land and our cultural sites, the military's poisoning of our sacred fresh water, the military's pollution of our ocean and bays needs to stop immediately. Ultimately, the decision on the matter falls with the BLNR, and so I urge the Board of Land and Natural Resources to listen to the people and uphold your duty as trustees of Hawaiian land to not allow the renewal of the leases for the U.S. Army. We, the Hawaiian people, Kanaka Maoli, Kanaka Uiwi, are the ancestral stewards of this land. You can try to bargain with us back and forth, but ultimately what we want is our land back. And so I say, a'ole to your new lease proposal. We do not consent. And one last thing. Free Palestine, free Gaza, free the Kingdom of Hawaii, free all oppressed, occupied subjects of America, its allies, and its military-industrial complex. Mahalo nui loa.
Mahalo nui. Thank you very much. 276. Thank you for your patience.
My name is Pua. I'm a Gora. I come together with my kupunas who recently passed 95 years old. I come with my brothers and my sisters who could not be here today except for my brother who talked about the Great Mahele as well as the treaties that he has. I come together with my 64 nephews and my nieces, my 49 grandnephews and my nieces. I have 5 grandchildren. I know falling on deaf ears because you folks must be strong to have sat here listening to all of us opposing any renewal of any leases in the state of Hawaii. Writing notes, somewhat pretending that you care and maybe might do something about it, but more than likely might not do something about it. This fake Hawaii government, and I wrote this down because I want to stay in the 2-minute guidelines, and I just did it now, not too long ago. That's why I'm one of the last. This fake Hawaii government who is not the true landowners, and the fake government apprised with more non-native, non-Hawaiians who are in treason with the Hawaiian Kanaka Maolis and the Kingdom of Hawaii. You talk about transparency earlier. Please, what is transparent is many Hawaiians have less than your beginning infantry military soldiers who just signed and enlisted. Do you know some lands that were leased were returned to the fake state? Then they, with hidden agendas, sold and are still being illegally sold, selling our Hawaiian lands. That's transparent. Our lands, the Hawaiian lands, you rent for $1 or made deals under the table, who knows, don't legally belong to them or to you. It belongs to the heirs of Kamehameha III and all of its Hawaiian people. I used to live in Waimea on Hawaiian homestead until my mom got sick and I was a caretaker, which many of our neighbors had to stop building and were forced to stop agricultural projects, stop their farming, because why? We had live ammunitions that were bought there because you folks had practices there in years before. That's not transparent. And then it becomes listed as barren lands. Where are the lands for the Hawaiians to build farms, procure, flourish, and thrive? It's not only the Army, it's the Navy, it's the armed forces, it's the Air Force who is in constant desecration of the Hawaiian people. Before we had no flying zones, now it's all open. Now the truth, you have weapons and the power to do what you want. And when you invaded our lands illegally, raped and robbed, and are still doing that in our lands, it's all in our history books. And yes, you are still actively doing that. My mom said, we are Vai Nui, caretakers of our lands, only as rich as the water that flows. And look what happened to the water. Was that transparent? This is sad and needs to stop. Today is 7/11, July 11. Hawaii is not a fast stop store of lands. Every day in Hawaii, it's 9/11. It's like a memorial for all Hawaiians daily. Just return the lands and no to any leases here forevermore.
Mahalo. Mahalo nui. 277.
Aloha mai kako, everybody. My name is Ruth Bolame, and I'm here to speak about the negative and the false propaganda that the U.S. military and the U.S. federal government keeps feeding us. And a lot of us have bought into it, because when we say that the Crown lands are the state lands, state-owned lands, I know that we've been fooled on levels. So what I want to do is take my time to read a memorandum that Alfred Desaias wrote to the United Nations, Secretary Antonio Gutierrez, and the member states of the United Nations. He started out by reminding the United Nations states that the lawful political status of the Hawaiian Islands is that of a sovereign nation state in continuity, but a nation state that is under a strange form of occupation by the United States, resulting from an illegal military occupation and a fraudulent annexation. As such, the international laws, the Hague and Geneva Conventions, require that governance and legal matters within the occupied territory of the Hawaiian Islands be administered by the application of law of the occupied state, in this case, the Hawaiian Kingdom laws, not the domestic laws of the occupier, the United States. On December 12, 1959, the United Nations passed a General Assembly resolution called 1469. It was based on the boundary descriptions that was provided by the U.S. and U.S. Public Law 86-3 that excluded all of the Hawaiian Islands. So none of the Hawaiian Islands are included in this. So in there, following that, using that, it gave the United States carte blanche to fool the world into believing that this was their territory. And through it, there's numerous human rights violations that stem from the wrongful occupation of the Hawaiian Islands. amongst the most egregious of abuses, being aided and abetted by the UN GA Resolution 1469, is the wrongful seizure of private lands from heirs and descendants who hold original allodial titles, that's absolute titles in perpetuity, issued by the sovereign King Kamehameha III under the laws of the Hawaiian Kingdom. The private lands in an occupied territory are protected in the Fourth Geneva Convention under Article 42 of the 1907 and the 1907 Hague Regulation that states, a territory is considered occupied when it is actually placed under the authority of a hostile army. The occupation extends only to the territory which such authority has been established and can be exercised. According to the Common, Article 2 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, 1949, applies to any territory occupied during the international hostilities. They also apply in situations where the occupation of state territories meet with no armed resistance. While the entry into force of the Hague and Geneva Conventions are subsequent to the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom by the United States in 1893, the hostile actions perpetrated by the occupiers since 1893 entail continuing violations of fundamental rules of international law and human rights. Every occupation of territory is subject to the UN Charter and is regulated by international law. Once a situation exists which factually amounts to an occupation, the laws of occupation should be applied. Whether or not the occupation is considered lawful, whatever its aim or its... Excuse me, please.
I do. We have it in writing. Yeah. We have a number of people who still have to go, though, so please summarize.
I'm nearly to the end. Whatever the aim is, or whether it's called an invasion, liberation, administration, or occupation, as the laws of occupation is primarily motivated by human rights and humanitarian considerations, it is solely the facts on the ground that determines its application. The duties of the occupying power are spelled out in the 1907 Hague Regulations and the Fourth Geneva Convention, as well as certain provisions of additional Protocol 1 and customary international humanitarian laws. The occupying power and the local authorities cannot deprive the population of the occupied territory of the protection afforded by international humanitarian law. Under those laws, the qualified people of Hawaii are international protected persons, and under no circumstances can protected persons be deprived of their rights or coerced into renouncing their rights. The main rules applicable is that the occupying power does not acquire sovereignty over the territory. The occupying power must respect the laws in force in the occupied territory unless they constitute a threat. 3, reprisal against protected persons or their properties are prohibited, and 4, the confiscation of private properties by the occupier is prohibited. A central provision of the convention is the principle of auditare auditieri. That party to the treaties must prosecute a person who commits an offense against an international protected person, and 2, send that person to another state that requests his or her extradition for a prosecution of the same crime. All members of the state of Hawaii, judiciary, executive offices, and the U.S. military personnel are required to take an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, Article 6, Paragraph 2, which establishes the federal laws made pursuant to it, and treaties such as the Geneva and Hague Conventions, duly ratified, constitutes the supreme law of the land. And this is also the tenure of U.S. Supreme Court judgment in the Pake Habana case. Therefore, we are asking you to follow your laws, follow your treaties that the U.S. has been a signatory to. We are not asking you to do anything but what you've already agreed to do. And as the U.S. military, it is your job to implement and make sure everything is upheld. And if you don't uphold it, then you, in your personal capacities, can be held accountable. So I'm here to give the diplomatic protest for the heirs of Kamehameha III. We do not consent. The state of Hawaii does not have authority. We have not given them authority or appointed them our representatives. They are not our land commissioners. And under the 1864 law, Chapter 34, Section 3, it has made all of the Crown lands inalienable. That means it couldn't be sold, and it could only be leased for a maximum of 30 years. Now, anything that happened in 1898 with the so-called joint resolution annexation in 1900 and in 1959, there could not be any transference of land lawfully. And that is also upheld in the case with Summa Corp against the California Land Commission, where the Supreme Court ruled that unless the government was part of the original treaty, or not treaty, the original title at the time that the titles were given out, they have no say, and they cannot put any, attach any authority. So currently, I'm putting you on notice that you are trespassing upon the Crown lands of Kamehameha III. They're the private lands, and all the people here also represent the kingdom lands. So you're also trespassing upon that. So thank you very much. And thank you for giving me this.
278. He wants to know if somebody from Wahiawa's here who wanted to trade to be able to go. Because these are, thank you.
Mahalo. Aloha, aloha mai kako, o Ioane. Wau, makukani loko, Iwahiawa, mikupmau keiki. I'm here on behalf of my kids. I wanted to share my perspective. I oppose completely all lease renewals. I wanted to highlight too, who's getting paid to be here, right? I look at that every time I come to these things because I think that's really telling, right? Like, look at all these people here and how late it's getting. Like me, my kids are at home right now waiting for me. It's crazy too to have a time limit when you're doing that with people. Nobody likes it, so you should just let it go because we're all supporting each other here. It's like fast food, right? Fast food's not good for you. Fast information is even worse for you. So let it come out. All right. Some of these people have been doing this like this tonight their entire lives. And look at our kupuna here. Look how old they are. They've been doing this their whole lives. So listen. All right, I grew up in California. I'm from America. I'm a guest here. So being a good guest is something I want the military to pay attention to because I was also a service member. I did 8 years in the U.S. Army. I was stationed here at Schofield. I was a combat medic. I went to Iraq for a year and fought hard. I went to Afghanistan for a year and fought very hard. I got blown up several times. And I was there for what I was being told to. I was deployed to fight for liberation for people. All right, but listen to everybody here what they're saying. They're not free. So it's very confusing, this paradigm, all right? I see deployment patches, ma'am, sir. And so, I know you guys were deployed and you understand this insurgency that we were in Iraq and Afghanistan fighting against. These people were embedded fighting for their lives, for their home. You'll never win. You can never win that. It's something you have to understand, lessons learned from all these different things that we keep trying to teach each other as we go through this, all right? So, my kids, they're Kanaka Maoli. They belong to this place. I'm a guest here. This is my job now. This is my kuleana. So now I'm a soldier here doing this, doing what I was trained to do, but in the right way. So I just wanted to leave you guys with this to, to understand that this isn't going to go away. And I know you're doing your jobs. And, I know you too, sir, Colonel McGonigal, and I appreciate you. You've done a lot of stuff in our community. And I know the notes you're taking that you're going to bring back and you're going to share that with your superiors. And just wanted to thank you for your time. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. 279.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha.
Ano ai. My name is Hanaloa Hilela, and I am an Aloha Aina. Just like the majority of people in this room, yeah, we are not only representing our own kupuna, we are bringing our kupuna together. Yeah, we are unified. We are in solidarity. I think it's really clear that the vast majority of the testimonies on these 3 nights have been no to lease renewals. And I further that. And you heard me 2 nights ago, so I'm gonna say it again. A'ole to any lease renewal. Yeah, the time is up. Long time we've been doing this, from even before 1893, yeah. And as many folks have already pointed out, you don't have legal standing, no matter how much you try to dress it up in codes and statutes and regulations. We know the truth, because we also read the US Constitution. And folks have mentioned that, yeah? The Newlands Resolution isn't a treaty of annexation. It can't be. It was a simple majority, a joint resolution. I wonder what kind of joint that was. It wasn't the real deal. You did not get 2/3 majority vote of the Senate. Yeah, which is required by your Constitution. America is seen throughout the world as the upholder of democracy. Well, at least it used to be. The champion of democracy. Yeah. But it was the Hawaiian people who exercised democracy in a way that hasn't been seen since. The vast majority, 38,000 people out of 40,000, signed petitions, 2 petitions, Hui Kalai Aina and Hui Aloha Aina, protesting the annexation to the United States in any form. Yeah, that is the truth. That's the fact of the matter. We learned about your process and we said, okay. And our kupuna said, we can do that. And they went by va'a, they went by horse, they went by steamship, and they went by their vavais. They walked all over the island chain, yeah, and gathered these signatures for us today. For us today. And the Ku'e petitions, that is their legacy to us. All of us have our ancestors in there, and now they're here. Ancestors are in the house with us, standing proud, helping us to remember, yeah. That's why we're here. This thing we're doing here, as so many have pointed out, this process is not real. This is gaslighting. This is not reality. So I think many of us have already demonstrated that it's more important. I mean, I guess it's important to make the record for the testimony, but I think what's more important is talking to each other. Yeah, is unifying together under this banner of Aloha Aina. Yeah, that's the heart of our culture, Aloha Aina. So your proposed uses do not align with our most fundamental truth, which is Aloha Aina. Yeah, and aloha is only demonstrated through malama. Takes that action. Yeah, the words aren't enough. Yeah, malama is the action of aloha. So you can say you aloha aina, but if you don't malama aina, there's a disconnect. It's not real. Yeah, and all of us here, we know that. That's why we're standing up. That's why we're here this late, Yeah, that's why people have been doing this, as brother just mentioned before, their whole life. It's not because they want to do this. I'd rather be at home with my kids and my family. Yeah. But this is our duty. This is our kuleana. This is our sacred kuleana. Yeah. And that's why we're here. And our kuleana is not just responsibility, it's also privilege. So I want to repeat that I'm honored to be amongst other aloha ainas. I am honored to carry my kupunas here to be with your kupunas. Yeah, because that's what it's about. Yeah, hui aloha aina. Yeah. So I know it's getting late, and you know, there's still how many more testimonies?
We have a bunch more. So yeah.
A bunch. Okay. So I will wrap it up. But again, I'm going to repeat what I offered on was that Tuesday, and several folks have spoke to it. This process, even, you know, if you could just insert something real into it, the least you can do is to make more time. Yeah, to make more time. Yeah. And my son was at Kahuku last night, and he mentioned that a kupuna had brought up just the fact that we're having to testify to you. It kind of says that's the truth of it. That is not right. Something's wrong here. Yeah, we're the descendants of this land. Yeah, it's beyond ownership. The land owns us. Yeah, our DNA comes from this aina. Yeah, this is our land. We're a part of this land. You can't separate the Kanaka from the aina. And you can't separate the Kanaka from his culture, yeah? If the Kanaka doesn't have his aina, have her aina, they can't practice their culture, yeah? Our culture is all about the land. No more land, no more Kanaka. So this is an opportunity for you guys to do the right thing, yeah? But we know that this scoping meeting here, this review process for the DEIS is not gonna change anything, yeah? We know what it's gonna take, because we've seen Kaolave, yeah? We know what it takes. It takes us to come out in mass. It takes us to put our bodies on the front line. Our kupunas, just like at the Mauna, our kupunas led that struggle. You know how many kupunas had like all kind of medical issues? And they were up there at 6,600 feet, willing to risk their lives to stand on that front line. And that's what you're dealing with. We will go to the top of the mountains, we will go to the ocean, we will go wherever we have to go. And like brother said before, this is unwinnable. Yeah, unless you wipe us out completely, which I guess is the plan in Palestine, unless you wipe us out completely, we're not gonna give up. To the last aloha aina.
Mahalo, mahalo nui.
So I want to leave you with this short oli from a very special man. Kumujan late shared this oli with me. I was lucky to know him and to spend some time with him. Too short of a time. Eia Hawaii nui akea, Hawaii nui, Hawaii iki, Hawaii loa, Hawaii poko, Hawaii luna, Hawaii lalo, I loko o ka moana o Kanaloa, ue kalani, lau e kahunua, ne e kahunua, o la I kahunua, ho ola kahunua, ku o kawailua o ke kupuna, ku paa ke kanaka maoli, ti he maoli ora, ti he maoli ora, ti he maoli ora. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Okay, Marty, I think you're next. You switched with someone. So Marty at 280. Real quick also, is Velma still here? Velma? That's you? Okay. So Velma did ask first to speak last. So we've had a number of people ask to go last, but she asked first. So Velma, you're going to be last when we get there. Okay.
Aloha. I'm Marty Townsend. Apologies for my back. And I am a Haole settler in the occupied kingdom of Hawaii, and I am very grateful for the opportunity to stand next to all of you in opposition to the U.S. military occupation. First I just want to thank you all because these 3 days have really renewed my determination to stand up against this occupation. As many of you know, I've spent a lot of time in these kind of meetings, and I tried really, really hard to convince the Navy to shut down the Red Hill fuel tanks before they poisoned people. If only they had listened, you know? They didn't, and 93,000 people were poisoned, and Oahu's aquifer is, for the foreseeable future, unusable. Away, and it breaks my heart, and I'm very sorry. So anyway, I thought this was completely useless, but I came anyway because I needed to bear witness, and I'm so glad that I did, and I'm very, very grateful for all of you for renewing that determination. We are the ones, as people have said before, we are the ones that are going to take care of us. And I just want to plant this seed in your mind, similar to what Honolua said. Like, it's going to take us standing up, but we know what it takes, right? Kaho'olawe was no small feat, right? So we know what it takes. And so this is going to be a year-long, several years-long process, and I want everyone to think about what they are willing to do to stand up to the U.S. military. You've gotten a very, very strong message, Steve, Rachel. Thank you very much for sitting through Stoneface the entire time. Very impressed. I hope I hope you take a page or learn a lesson from the very painful lesson that the Navy learned, and please listen. If you only listen to us now, we aren't going away. You heard generations of people, right? Whole families, elders, Mākua, keiki, testifying, telling you they are not going away. The best thing you can do is to let go of Hawaii, clean up, and get out. That is the best thing that you can do. And whatever we can do to help you do that is where we are right now, right? The level of negotiations that we are on right now is what can we do to help you pack up and go, right? We will help you. And I just want to end on the note to make sure that everybody knows that we were the ones that took care of each other when the Navy poisoned our water, right? And we are still the ones who are taking care of our own people, right? We took care of each other after the wildfires. We took care of each other after the storms, during the pandemic. We don't need them, you know? They have done more to harm us, our health, our economy, our environment, everything. You know, what kind of economy are we going to have in Hawaii? To all of the people out there who are watching who are like, oh, well, the military has a role to play. You know, think of all the technology we could win from them. There is nothing they could give us that would justify the harm that they have caused. Don't fall for it. All the people watching on TV, don't fall for it. There is no grounds that justify the U.S. military being here. Let them go. We are stronger when we rely on ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 281. Barbara, I think is the name. 281. No? Okay. 282. Stephen, that's you.
There's a lot less people here than. How many people are here in opposition to these leases? Yeah. I remember this the other night. There's a lot more people. I'm going to read this real quick. Aloha mai kako o Stephen Thomas. I'm the grandson of Franklin William Thomas Sr., a former U.S. Army soldier, and Emily Ka'ai, a direct descendant of King Leilehua, through the lines of Paka'alana and Keawe, and the progenitors of both royal houses of Kamehameha and Kalakaua. Make no mistake, I view America as a thief and a bully, which has had a parasitic impact on my ancestral homeland, infecting Hawaii with its attitude of entitlement and disrupting the natural order of the environment, when we, in contrast, view our very purpose as one to promote its health and ability to provide us with sustenance. I won't go into the environmental impacts that's been said enough here, but these types of impacts, negative impacts on what Western society calls the environment, we as Kanaka Maoli refer to as the killing of our mother. All in the name of mission readiness. What is the mission? Kill the planet? What are you going to protect after that? Another thing that amazes me is that on a continent with nearly 3 million square miles of land area, the Army cannot find enough space there to adequately maintain mission readiness. Oh, I'm sorry, all that land was stolen too. And since that's the case, let's be done with the portrayal of America as the good guys and wear the cap of raping murderous thieves proudly, just as proudly. Personally, I would rather you all just pack up your shit and get the fuck out of my house.
Mahalo. Thank you for that. 283. Brian. Oh, okay, Barbara. You were 281? Yep, okay.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. My name is Barbara Altimus. I'm a resident here in illegally occupied Hawaii for almost 40 years, and I raised my daughter here on the island of Oahu. I'm forever grateful to my Kanaka brothers and sisters for the love, support, and welcoming they have given my daughter and myself, and a life we could never have imagined or dreamed of in this beautiful sacred Aina. And I'm forever grateful for this sacred, beautiful Aina that has nourished and cared for us in all ways. I'm here to stand with my brothers and my sisters, insisting that the U.S. military pack up and go home. Clean up your toxic mess and give reparations for the damage caused to the Kanaka Maoli so they may heal and build back their lives for themselves, their children, and future generations. As a family therapist and human being, I have and continue to witness immense pain caused by the U.S. military. You have come to a land of peace and aloha and brought your mindset of killing and destruction. The people on these islands have lived sustainably for thousands of years. And today, so many are houseless, hungry, lonely, and living a life of misery and suffering. Before you came, people took care of one another, and there was a system that cared for the land and the people. I have some questions I have for you, and I hope you bring these questions back to your so-called superiors and to other military personnel. What gives the U.S. military the right to destroy what is sacred to the people of Hawaii? How do you justify stealing, desecrating, and destroying Aina and the lives of the people in these beautiful islands? As an institution and as individuals, what do you tell yourself to justify committing such crimes? How much of your humanity are you willing to give up for whatever selfish benefit you get in money, power, or whatever it is you believe makes it worthwhile, that causes much pain, so much pain and suffering for the people and all of our relations who live in the ocean and on the land and who fly in the air. You may justify what you are making, that you are making the world safe. It is insane that the U.S. military says it is making it safe for people of America, quote unquote, as it poisons the land with its war exercises and bombing with depleted uranium, white phosphorus, and countless other deadly chemicals and more. And the irony is the Kingdom of Hawaii was illegally overthrown violently by the U.S. government, and to this day illegally occupies this land that is called, quote unquote, America, as it kills and destroys it.
Ma'am, please
Your
wrap it up.
institution adds, I'm almost done, and is able to kill your own personal military personnel as well, poisoning the water and the land that they're living on. This is true not only in Hawaii, but all over the U.S. and the world. You try and force the identity of being American, quote unquote, on Kanaka, and at the same time do not recognize the humanity and the right to exist as a sovereign people in their homeland. Who are you keeping safe? How can a people be safe if they don't have a healthy place to live? My focus is on healing, and there can be no healing without justice. My focus is on recognizing truth, and the truth is that the U.S. military has violated laws, moral, ethical, and legal, national, international. My focus is also on being a good human being, and human beings, as human beings, we have the capacity to reflect, look within, be honest with ourselves and others, and to make things right that are wrong. We have the ability to have empathy and compassion. I've grown up with many cultures, and the focus on being a good human being is a quality that healthy cultures embrace and live. I'm passionate about helping to create a safe and healthy future for our children and future generations. And I understand that is only possible if we each are truthful with what it means to be a good human being, caring for ourselves and all of our relations. You have the opportunity to be a good human being, standing on the right side of history and taking what you are hearing from the people of Hawaii to your superiors and everyone you know, and fighting like hell to ensure that the Kanaka here in Hawaii are given the right to live as they choose on their sovereign land without the presence of the U.S. military. Stop the leases, stop the land leases, and the abuse of the land and the people of Hawaii. Enough is enough.
Mahalo. Mikey. Please try for the 2 minutes. You have a, oh, you're two more. You're 284. So Mikey's kind of out of order so that it's Iowane, if he's still here, and then you.
No, I traded places with Iowane.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Okay, hello again. I'm Mikey from Makiki. Colonel McGonigal, could you tell everybody what I asked you to bring yesterday? No, I'm asking you. You have the mic.
Can't, it's comments only, Mikey.
Okay, okay. Why does he even have a mic then? Okay, so last night I asked you why you didn't do the basic common courtesy of bringing Mea Ai when it's, 6 to now past 10, right? Every single one of these 3 days. And I asked you just on the way over, because it is on the way over, just bring some pizza from Costco. And, it's a small thing compared to all the other stuff that we're here for, but it's an indicator of how you approach the big things, yeah? You can't even come through on a Costco pizza. How are we supposed to trust you about these military leases and doing the right thing about it? It's basic kind of stuff, yeah, that you just don't seem capable of because it's not part of your mission, right? You don't actually care about the well-being of any other people here. You just care about being mission ready and keeping, your grip on all of these colonial holdings that are getting looser and looser by the day, right? And the decision that you all are going to make, we all know, as we've all said over these past 3 days, is largely predetermined. Best case scenario, you're gonna sprinkle some breadcrumbs on the table and tell everybody that you baked us a big birthday cake, and we see through all of those lies now. And you know that we see through all of these lies. And we've also seen America's true face. because the mask is falling. You know, it slipped a whole lot with Red Hill in 2021, and the Red Hill leaks again in 2022. And it broke and fell to the floor with the genocide that is still going on in Palestine. We know what the actual project of the US military is. It is one of genocide and capital accumulation and holding on to power and land and that which feeds us that you do not deserve to have. Going back to food, right? You not feeding people. It really speaks to the entire history of the US military. You have paved over and bombed the Aina, the land, that which feeds us, yeah? And the only people who fed each other here was us. We fed each other, we kept each other safe, we take care of each other. We don't need you to do that, because clearly you're not even capable of doing that bare minimum thing, yeah? And you may be powerful, you may think you are powerful, God knows you are powerful, you could bomb us right now, and say that, you know, someone was hiding an RPG next to my tripod or whatever, right? But, you know, you are a paper tiger. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that, and that there are already holes poked through that paper tiger. And when enough of us wake up and realize that, like we woke up and realized that at Mauna Kea and Kahuku and Mākua, we're gonna stand up. And you're going to see, we're all going to see, the world is going to see how easy it is to bring this giant to its fucking knees. Because, you know what? There's basically just one road in and out of Kahuku, and because of climate change, it's getting narrower every day. There's a major one-way street through Waikiki, the main flow of capital that y'all care so much about, right? Going into Pu'uloa, Pearl Harbor, basically one wide-ass road. Going to Mākua and to the bullshit, you know, golf ball satellites, you know? Yeah. There's so little you can do when people rise up and cut off the already clogged and congested arteries of capital, and you're gonna see just how much you have misjudged and underestimated the people. You're gonna see how easy it is you're gonna see how much you need to start making some major concessions, because we're gonna cut off the arteries of capital in the same way that this hair tie is cutting off circulation to my finger. It's gonna be so easy. And we're gonna see you on the streets. And we're gonna see you on the other side of empire, but until then, we'll keep it tight for the US empire and hang loose for the people. Aloha.
Thank you. That's Mikey. Lolani. 284. Please, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Please, try.
Okay, mahalo. Wait, before my 2 minutes starts, can I make a housekeeping announcement? Just a real fast one. Okay, mahalo. So there's some t-shirts over there that I printed. They're for free as long as you're gonna wear them. I don't know what sizes I get, but just, you know, just go see if you can find them, okay? And that goes for you folks too, you know. I'd be happy to share them with you. So, anyway, okay, that was my housekeeping announcement. Mahalo. For my testimony, I'd really like to just make a request, and I know I made one yesterday, and I want to emphasize that again, that the EIS clearly says that they do not consent, yeah? They do not consent. So that is very important. The request that I want to make tonight is that I'd like to ask, I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know whether you can actually hear the nearly 100% of these testimonies that are saying, stop, do not pursue this, please withdraw. I don't know whether your humanity is capable of overcoming whatever it is in the job that every other person in your position has never been able to overcome. I don't know whether you're capable of that or not. But what I do think you are capable of is giving these people who have invested their time, their lives, just remember, for every one of these 2 minutes, there's 200 years of suffering, work, all kinds of things that go into those 2 minutes. And what I'd like to ask back for that is their mana'o back. And what I'd like, and Kehao, I'd like to ask you, because I know you're good at this, to make sure that every single mana'o is transcribed in words, put into PDF form with the name of the speaker clearly on it, made publicly available, with every single one, and then given back to the people, because this may or may not be the place where the change gets made, but those mana'o are capable of doing a lot more. So that is my request, and also one more time to be very clear, they do not consent. I want to see it loud and clear in that EIS, please, because that is the least that you can do out of all of this. And I want to ask everybody else one more time to just say, if you do not consent, say, we do not consent, okay? We do not consent. Okay, mahalo nui.
Mahalo nui, thank you very much. 285, Papua.
Mahalo, babe. Aloha, o wau kupua ki koa no ka aina po o pula ka ava wai nai mai au. Thank you folks for your patience, and at the same time, your patience is nothing compared to what we have endured. I always wonder why the people that are cleaning this are so far away, because if it was a Kanaka, we'd be sitting right here, and we would have saved a couple minutes probably and made it easier. But I'm so glad that Laulani just came, but I also wanted to reiterate that you folks clearly state all 3 nights the overwhelming testimony was opposition to the continued usage of our lands and presence of the military destroying our lands. Okay, we do not consent to that. We never did. We never, ever will. Never. The other thing is, again, what Laulani just said. Because when the DOI came 10 years ago, all of the testimonies seemed to get smashed down, and only those that came in the pala pala, which is what Americans do primarily, but Kanaka, he alo. We want to see your eyes. We want to see your face. We are live. You're alive. Let's talk that way. Yeah? So, like Laulani had said, you folks have it recorded, transcribe it, and that way the 100, 200 people that came are validated. We took hours to come here. And yes, please do extend these conversations and open the door to more. You will have those few that recognize the value of the military, the federal government, because there is value. Unfortunately, the value that America has in our land is destructive to our lands, destructive to our being. So that is not pono. That is heva. There is value in America, primarily back in America, because this is not America. We recognize that this is a farce, but we will go through this process so that we'll play the game, because it's all about playing the game the right way, knowing the rules. But the snakes of America and of that capital, it's so slippery that the rules change. It always changes on us. But that's okay, we will always rise up until the very last. So my puina, Yankees, go home. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you very much. Manny, 286. Manny, are you still here? Did Manny leave? Manny, see you. I see you, Manny. Manny, my friend, please try for 2 minutes. Please, 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 please.
Aloha, Colonel. Nice to see you again, ma'am. Kehau.
Hello, Manny.
I would like to follow in continuation of what I said Wednesday night, having just come off a plane from Maui and gone straight to Waianae. Colonel, if the fire on Haleakala doesn't get stopped by noon tomorrow, send 2 Chinooks for the general. Send them to Maui. I'm asking you, okay? I heard brother, where's Andre? Andre, you here?
Andre's up there, I think.
One day I was asked to bring my Ford Toyota truck and park it next to a nuclear submarine. And I was asked to repair something in that submarine for 3 days. I don't think anybody has ever parked a truck next to a nuclear submarine. But Colonel, I won't tell you what I did, but I'll never forget. I know Kehau. I'll never forget that when a submarine had smashed into an underwater mount someplace in the Pacific, I was there monitoring. There are no secrets. And as I said, I'm the son of a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm very proud. But I also challenged you, sir, that I gotta do my part if you can give back Mākua. And you don't have to wait until 2029. That was my challenge to you. Kehau, I brought up about being welcomed into the home of John and Mary and Kelly at Kupiki Pikio at 4117 Black Point Road, yeah? And I brought in a helicopter to honor him as the trainer of the UDT, the Navy SEALs. And he said, as a young ensign during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, it was hard for him. He spent a whole week removing bodies out of Pearl Harbor and putting American and Japanese servicemen into the same coffin at Fort Shafter. And he said, Manny, when I die, I want you to tell this story of how I recovered war-shot torpedoes off Kaho'olawe. But Kehau, I heard the sister, I don't know if she brought up a copy of Auntie Marion's study.
Yes, she did.
My kai, that's the study she gave me, right? I told you that night. Kehau, print that study, please. I will pay for the copy and give it to the Colonel. Okay, Colonel, just read it.
Yeah.
Promise? Okay, because you'll never be the same. And I talked about Vieques, because Kehau, the word expropriation is what they did in Mākua. And when I went to Vieques, right? Because he said, Emmett, you cannot go. So I went. It's the same thing they did to them. It was called the expropriation of these people. And so, Colonel, I purposely didn't go to Kahuku because I'm not ma'a with that place, Kehau. The only time I ever been up there was by helicopter. And as we did the model clearance for Kaho'olawe in 1995, I was in the front seat with Uncle Tom Hopman. He and I We celebrated our successful cleanup, and we wanted to go skydiving. So as we came across Mokupuni, he showed me where he had crashed and all the work he has done for the military secretly. And he says, Manny, I want you to look over the right side. Tell me what you see. And I saw all the training grounds, Kahuku. And so for any Hawaiian in here, don't forget, Kamehameha Schools owns lands up there. And if you guys remember, when Chief of Staff General Shinseki, a local boy, wanted to build his striker brigade, and okay, give me a chance. You guys remember? Did they ever bring the striker brigade, by the way? Ole. But they went build Drum Road, right, Kehau? Yeah. Okay. And that was a celebration for me. Now the left side, Kehau, is you do your part, Colonel, and I'm going to do my part. We talked about the governor. We talked about the land board. We talked about Auntie Dawn Chang. My only comments I made in the scoping, Kehau, none of them got answered, by the way. But that's okay. Okay? I'm not going to tell you the 3 things that I asked. But one of them was, Kavika, show me one American bombing range that they've ever cleaned up and given back. Just show me one. And if you show me one, I will be the greatest champion and apologist for the United States Army in Hawaii. But you know what? I was grateful, Kehau. I don't know if it's you or the colonel. You could have shut this thing down at 8 o'clock, but you never. Thank God you never. Let the people speak. Whether or not you extend them, I don't know. But I came face to face. You hear my voice. So when my voice goes out into the heavens and my kupuna looking down on me, all the guys that went protect me, I owe it to them. I owe it to them. As I said, I'm the only person in my family didn't serve because I thought they would frag me someplace in the road and say that I committed suicide. But Kehau, I have great aloha for you. Thank you for convening this. Colonel, just read the report, okay? It will touch you. You'll never be the same. And I gave you those 2 names who to talk to. You want to give it back before 2029 as a give back. It's the right thing to do, okay? Okay? And finally, I get nervous when I come Leilehua. When I come into this town, I'm thinking of it. When I went to Vieques, my last thing, I promise, 1 minute. When I went to Vieques, I love that admiral that came in the suit. Is the admiral still here? And Miss Lakidian, is she still here? Huh? Is she? Where is she?
No, they left. They left, Manny.
See, I'm the type, I like to hear everybody speak. I like to hear everybody. Okay? But when I went to Vieques, Kehau, I called up a general from Lockheed Martin, and I said, Lockheed Martin, tell me, when I go to Vieques, Puerto Rico, what should I do? What do you think they told me, sister? No, they said, Manny, be a very good listener for 3 days and don't say nothing. And while this was going on, 60 Minutes was doing something about the returning of the Panama firing ranges. And they did something about Kaolave. So, sir, the last question is, our politicians no more guts. People like to brag recently in the news that we do humanitarian things throughout the world, defense, during humanitarian crisis, hurricanes, natural disasters, man-made. You know, Colonel, When I saw Lahaina, I was waiting for the amphibious ship to come offshore and just shuttle food and water like we do everywhere. I'm still disappointed. And I told Admiral Aquilino, if I was SINCPAC, if I was PACOM, now called Indo-PACOM, I would know exactly what the hell was going on in Lahaina. My own intelligence. That's what we deserved, okay, Colonel? And so, if any of you, the reason why we gotta give them back, sir, if you ever went to the courthouse at the federal building called Hale no Noe, yeah, for the radio, how many of you was there for the last briefing? I know you was there, Marty, I saw you. How many of you was in there?
Manny, please.
No, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay. You know what's the sad part, sir? The American government attorneys said, that's all your fault, pre-existing condition. And no worry, because the fuel has a half-life of 2 to 5 days, and within 2 to 4 days, it's going to be out of your body. And when I heard that, Colonel, I'm like, if they do that to their own people, what you think they're going to do to me as a Hawaiian? And I walked out of that courthouse, and I jumped on a plane, and I went to Kahului Community Center to protest the 767 telescopes going for the Air Force. So the question to G7 Ikehawa was, show me, give me the best native Hawaiian scholar and do a cumulative impact for me as a Hawaiian. Haven't seen it yet, Kehawa.
Thank you, Manny. Okay, Nani, you're next, but you wanted somebody to go? Okay. Is he taking yours, or you just want him to go before you? Okay. Please try 2 minutes, please. Okay, thank you.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha, please state your name.
My name is Nathan Kamahele. I am Kanaka Maoli, and I am a direct descendant of Kamahele Nui. I came to Waianae and Kahuku to observe, and now I'm here at Leilehua. And I'm so proud of my lahui for coming out, standing up, making time, making sacrifices. I know you guys are all out here making sacrifices. Kalamai, I came late. I had to go to a CRB meeting in Kailua earlier this evening, which is another issue that we have because of our military. They brought the coconut rhinoceros beetle here, and it has the potential to wipe out all vegetation in Hawaii, starting with coconut palms, banana, ulu, tea leaf, and our kalo. And once they wipe that out, they will continue to wipe out vegetation till there's nothing left. We must wipe that out. We must take out all invasives in Hawaii, period. If they do not have aloha, they have to go, okay? I stand here humbly and respectfully here as a dad. I have 2 keiki, 2 Kanaka Maoli keiki, and as a dad, it is my responsibility to make sure that I provide for them and protect them to the death. This is our responsibility, yes? And my question to you guys, do you guys have kids? Human to human, do you guys have kids? So we teach our kids right and wrong, right? We teach them at home right and wrong, and then we go out to do our jobs, which is wrong, right? So let's talk about this, right? Let's break it all down. You believe in God? Yes. The answer is yes. Do you believe in love? The answer is yes. And if you believe in those 2, you must believe in truth. Because if you do not believe in truth, you're lying about the first 2. The truth of the matter is, the U.S. military and the U.S. government are the terrorists here in Hawaii. They have been, they have always been. We need to hold these terrorists accountable. Not just the US military, not just the fake state. Do, pineapple, that's another one. Hiko, these are all establishments. Established, exactly. Alexander Baldwin, Casher and Cook, these are all establishments established by terrorists and still in business today. We must hold them all accountable. To my lahui, I love you. I love you. Yes. My last name is Kamahele. I believe it is my kuleana to make sure that these lands are returned to our people. Our kupuna, your kupuna, are very proud of you. You have been awakened. You have been activated. Not all of us are up yet. There's many of us still sleeping. Yeah? And I have to remind all of us, with all the mana from our kupuna, this thing that we are being taught, thank you for your service. No, we don't thank the terrorists for what they're doing to us, what they've done to our ancestors. Another one is this thing we call kapua loa, right? I want to remind you, our kupuna are reminding you that kapua loa is not lay down and let them take everything, let them rape your kids, let them rape your women, let them abuse you, let them fuck up your resources. Kapua aloha does not mean lay down and let them do that.
Can you please wrap it up?
Kapua aloha means you defend aloha to the death, strategically. So let's get together, let's hui this thing, so we can flip this whole thing. Yeah? Our keiki and our mo'opuna will see independence. Eo!
Mahalo. Nani. And then Makanois after Nani, 288. Are you guys going together? Sorry, yeah, Nani's first, and then you guys can pick your order. You're gonna go, Nani. Okay.
Sorry, Keha, for my hulikua ya.
No, you're fine.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha.
I too wanted to mahalo everybody first and foremost, for showing up, for engaging in this very important issue. So many freaking powerful testimony, and from a lot of people that we don't usually see out there. So mahalo, because it's a kako thing. We cannot do this without you guys. Our ohana. That's all of us. Yeah, we ohana. And we understand what that is because we understand aloha. I can bring a little bit different kind of aloha today. But I wanted to remind you guys, I look at Ho'ailona, and you guys saw the clouds, you guys saw the sky, you guys felt the rain. That's our kupunas crying in happiness because we showed up. We showed up to protect what they love. And we ain't done. We're not done, kako. We cannot be done because they're gonna do whatever the freaking hell they like to take over everything that our kupunas loved, that our ancestors loved. And we know what's right. We know what's pono. And so Andre had mentioned earlier about organizing. We gotta organize, kako. Seriously. You guys all went look at the fluke of all of that bullshit in that book? All the wordplay? I stayed up late last night till 4 o'clock in the morning, tweaking on the freaking EIS. I couldn't understand some of the words that they were saying. So I go look at the dictionary. But then I thought, oh, maybe the military get different terminology for, sorry, Kehau, please. Go ahead, Keolo Olu Mahalo. The military get different terminology, yeah. Yeah, I'm not in the military, I don't know anything about that, but I know Alpha, Delta, Foxtrot, all of that, right? I know they gotta communicate that way. So I ended up going online and just checking, hey, what is the military terminology for this word? Austere, right? Kali. You cannot answer that question, yeah? Austere environment. Can you tell me that? Ole. Okay. So, when I look on the EIS, and I'm just saying this because we need to be more, like, understanding. We need to mopopo, yeah? We need to actually really delve into the words that they're playing with. Right? Hold on. Austere, where did you go? Okay, so I can't find it anymore. It read something about the environment is steep, the hills are steep, rocky, all of that. Okay, so, and then I pull up the internet, and then I pull up US Army website. There's a little article in there, and I'm just gonna read a little bit because, holy shit, this one like it freaking tripped my mind. We operate, and this is about how they prepare their military to train, right? We were decisively, okay, this is in regards to an engagement between Iraq and Afghanistan, yeah, and so, little snippet. We were decisively engaged in Iraq and Afghanistan, so the mentality was, unit would come here, fall into one set of pre-existing set of equipment, facilities, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is the important part. We operated this particular way. We're not going to fight the next war that way. We're going to fight the next war in an austere environment. What austerity means is you do an invasion of a country, whether it's land or sea. You establish a bridgehead or a beachhead, and you start pushing troops out. Yeah, all of that, again, is bullshit. They've taken over our lands, and they're trying to obliterate us. We cannot stand for this. Hold on. Aloha. Aloha. Hi. Mikey had shared something earlier today about you not bringing food. I shared something with you guys as well yesterday about bringing somebody higher than you because we never talk to you. We wanted to talk to them over there in the camera, watching us all night long. This is day 3 for a lot of us here in all of this bullshit conversation. Just one side. And so, in Hawaii, we kokua ke kahi. Yeah, we help each other. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how we help. Because yesterday I told you, I'm going to do something for you, for help you. Here's your Q-tips. I hope that helps to clean your ears, to clear your ears so you hear us better. But I don't know that you did. And so I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can read my shirt. No lease on stolen lands, U.S. military out of Hawaii. Sorry, last thing. I promise. So I shared with you guys, I'm an Olelo Hawaii teacher. I know my kuleana, unlike you. I want to teach, right? And so I'm going to share this, and I want to first mahalo Kawila for always instilling kupuna ike, kupuna mana'o to all of us. And if you guys don't know who he is, go check him, go. Right? Instagram. Right? Kako, can you please read this for me with aloha? Ke olu olu. Just this part. Ready? It says, ho'opilimai. Ho'opilimai means to mimic. Hele pela. Kako pau. Hele pela. Hele pela. Okay? Ready? Okay? So let's say it 3 times first. Oya. Hele pela. Hele pela. Hele pela. Hele pela in Hawaiian means this. Can we tell them together what hele pela means? Makau kau kako. Oya. Hele pela means fuck you. Fuck you guys for all you guys did. All you guys still doing. You guys don't give a shit about anything. Hele pela. Hele pela. Hele pela. Because we said no.
Thank you. Makanoi, 288. Makanoi.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Makanoi. I have a question that I would like answered. During the cultural impact assessment, did you have any archaeologists or anthropologists on site? I'd like a response.
It's one way for these. Sorry, it's the rules.
Did you have anyone with archaeological background doing the cultural impact assessment?
Yes.
I would like to request for a new cultural impact assessment because the cultural impact assessment has many holes in it. No disrespect to whoever did that cultural impact assessment, but there were lack of interviews from those from the community that are actually able to speak about the community. You are missing mo'olelo, and above all else, considering you did not answer about the archaeologist and the anthropologist being on site during this cultural impact assessment, I would like that cultural impact assessment to be redone with more than 10 interviewees of kupuna who know the mo'olelo. I'd also like that cultural impact assessment to include all of the testimony given throughout all 3 nights. And I want that cultural impact assessment to be in Olelo Hawaii and any other language that is needed to be able to comprehend what it means. And I also want all of this information sent back to the House of Representatives where it should not have been skipped. And I want it to be looked at, and I want it to be seen as if this is really able to go through with all this opposition. I can't stress enough that the cultural impact assessment is the most important piece of all of this process. We come here today to speak to you about environment, and our culture is in our environment. So to better understand the environment assessment, you need the cultural impact assessment, and you need one that is substantial. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 289. Thank you to the Leilehua staff. I think we've run long. Thank you. Sorry. Kekai? Are you Kekai? Okay. Please try 2 minutes. And then Velma, you're up. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody.
Aloha again. My name is Kekai Pua. I'm with Polynesian Built Music and with
Just know
all
if
the-
you don't speak into the mic, it won't go into the recording. So if they want
I
everybody
like
transcribed,
your
sorry.
outfit. It's nice. But we are a military family. My mom is born and raised in Lanai. Then she went over, they moved when she was in elementary to Aliamanu, where they found Ibi Kupuna in their backyard, and that was blessed several times. And that's still like Aliamanu. These two books, this is 2 out of 3 books that are very important to Polynesians. This is the land, this is like the Mahele book with everyone's name. This is in the area of Kolauloa and Kolaupoka, Poko, which is this area from Kaneohe side until Waianae is actually under one title under Kauikeuli under Crown Lands. And this is the boundaries, that's the maps. These are the heirs here, a lot of them that have spoken. I hope you've been listening. Because even like Uncle William Isla, who is my parents' cousin, when he was on DLNR and stuff, people were like, rah, rah, rah against him all the way through. But Kali Watson is worse than Isla ever will be. And like, if you talk to him on a personal level, like he's willing to work with you guys. At this point in technology, like I can go on my phone, I can make an outfit, I can make a whole world on the metaverse with weapons and everything. And my brother, my youngest brother, is an Army vet. My biological father is an Air Force vet. Like if you're gonna be up there, you should pay attention to the people that are talking, especially if you're not a military like family too. And like it's very important. My mom went over from the plantation fields where she had nothing, where they had to go from, the Kaupuikis had to go from, there's only like a few people after me too, and I'm just like reiterating what the Kukunek Kiai have said from the front lines, because a lot of them have been with us since Kahuku, since the turbines, so the 5G technology, that's so like, guns are obsolete, and I've been shot before when I was in my 20s with somebody that was on chemicals. So I'm just like, that is still what our soldiers are affected by, is the Roundup pesticides that are in the ground that they're still pulling up the lines from. And our soldiers, like they don't come back the same. Like if you have a soldier, then you should know that they need to be taken care of. Like my brother has PTSD, and he was in blasts. They're from the IUDs. So that's important. The effects of gun violence and everything is very important, like use your fist. I don't like speaking, I like filming, and I like to swear because I'm Samoan too. If I don't like you, I won't be like aligning with you. But it's important for you to align with the people here, because that's the people that have title to this land that we're on, and that's the whole point of this. You know, like if you could be using drones or virtual technology instead of weapons that the kupuna, like Uncle Sparky and Uncle Vince Dodge, they're down the street. We grew up with them fighting for Mākua. So for them to finally get it back, that's important to us. So all these lands have the same title. These are the heirs that you should talk to. They said their genealogy right there. You should say yours.
Okay, thank you. Velma, a woman of great patience, thank you very much. Okay, and Velma is our last speaker for tonight. Thank you so much for your patience.
I wanted to be last, so I stay. Not just joking, just joking. Nah, but for real, a lot of you guys said a lot that was on my mind. I want to tell everybody I appreciate all of you, even you guys. I know that you guys are not the head of all of this, but I appreciate your patience and allowing yourselves to be a sort of punching bag, but I apologize for that. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the food, whoever was looking out for us. I appreciate that. I want to say it's time to wake up. It is time to wake up. It is time to wake up. I've been sleeping, I'm waking up now, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm here now, and my goal is to be a part of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? For our people. This is to our people, this is for our people. It's our kuleana, you know. Thank you guys. Now, I hope you guys know that according to the board, that this is an info session, okay? So all the passion that I heard today, that was expressed today, I hope you guys keep that fire and do something with it. We gotta start coming together. I know life in this system of things has us busy. We're busy paying rent that's going forever high. We're busy trying to buy food. We're busy taking care of our kids, yeah? But we have to start doing something. We gotta start coming together as a people, okay? So hopefully we can exchange some information today, yeah? But we know this isn't going anywhere. This is a formality, we get it. We have to find the correct platform, yeah? We gotta find the correct platform. Besides that, I think I said enough. I wanted to call my brother, Kahuku. Sorry. Yeah. Come.
Are you going to close for us? Are you closing for us?
I guess I am. Okay. One of the immortal words of our queen, Iulai, she said, "The voices of the people, the voice of God." In the battle of Poamoho Bay, when the forces of Leilehua was battling against Kekuakalani because the Aikapu was broken, Kanaka was fighting Kanaka. Kekuakalani was mortally injured, and his Manawahine high chiefess Manono was also mortally injured, but she has stated, "Malama ko aloha, malama ko aloha," to have love for one another. And in some way, shape, size, or form, we still get love for you guys too. Colonel Rachel, Colonel Steve, even you, Tita Kehau. However, crime has been committed every day. Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to close this out. I'm going to call up Kumahina for Kampale us in Pule.